What's up, everyone? I'm going to be reviewing the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends 3-pack exclusive from Hasbro. I think this was a Hasbro PulseCon exclusive. Could have been fan channel. I can't really remember too much. But we got, Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar here. Just a quick look at the box. It's actually kind of interesting with the side box. They show Spider-Man crawling. Nothing for Firestar or Iceman. But, in the back, you can see, hey, these are what all the figures come with. I think there's a little bit more of a color accurate Miss Lions here. So I'm going to go and take these figures out of the box and see how they look. Here's Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends outside of the box. I'm going to go and probably start off with Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar. For Spider-Man here, you can see this figure is nicely pinless. One of the main differences, I guess, with this figure is that he doesn't have toe articulation, which, like, the Renew Your Vows does. However, I'm not kind of disappointed about this. I do like it when there's no, like, an articulation cut point made for something like that. I really don't... I'm not a fan of toe articulation, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I just think that it's going to make the figure fall, so I'm not too much of a fan of it. I kind of wish Hasbro was going to jump in a direction to make swappable feet happen, because there's only one position a foot can go, and for me, I just would rather have a swappable foot so it doesn't really break any articulation there. I don't know. I don't think we need to have that, but I digress. One thing I noticed about the figure that I don't like is that it has like the slit cuts similar to the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. To put his webs in there, but this figure doesn't come with it, so it's kind of pointless, and we just have it there. So I guess those are some of the pieces that they reused. Here's a back shot of that spider symbol here. What's interesting about the head sculpt is that, it seems like a pretty standardized one, but there is like a little bit of a difference here. I also noticed mainly how it kind of is really flat in the front of the face, where, like, let me take the old retro version and you could see, if I can get this right, it just looks like his face points out a little bit more with that old retro one, and the new one just seems like it has like a more squashed in face. Here's three of the Spider-Man that we have gotten over the last couple of years, starting with the retro version that came out 2020, and then these two Spider-Man that came out this year, along for this whole Spider-Man year. Honestly, this is like the most Spider-Man figures we have gotten in a single year that were really based off that classic suit design, with just the classic red and blue colors. Obviously, I don't have the new retro one where it's the cel-shaded one. Still trying to find that, but I don't know. Whenever it gets here, it gets here. It's Iceman, and for the base body part, I do not like. I mean, they kind of wanted to go, I guess, like the smaller body, but they didn't do any like real updates with it. This figure still has the the ugly pins that we get to unfortunately see, and unfortunately, I really wanted to see a clear version of Iceman. I think we're just still not there with a perfect Iceman yet. Doesn't mean that they didn't introduce some cool aspects to an Iceman figure, though. I kind of like how they did like an offset color and kind of cel shading, but I don't know, I feel like it really kind of works well with a character like this, who is always kind of showing different texture and color, because he's ice, and obviously kind of looks different in different lighting. So the head sculpt, though, this is my favorite part of the figure. Definitely has some nice looking head sculpt here, and I like how it kind of looks a little more like rigid, I guess. It seems like an ice sculpture with it. It's not like so clear and smooth. There's a few like ridged sides here, so I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, like I said, I really do like the darker blues that kind of run through the figure, kind of like the cel shading. I think it does kind of work for this character a little bit. Obviously, the snow base, we've seen it before. I think it's just a little bit more touched up to look more like snow. And back of the figure is pretty bland, not too much going on here. The figure also does come with some closed fists. And here's Iceman next to a few previous releases. This one on the right was the vintage cardback one that came out a couple years ago. And then the Iceman on the left was from the X-Men, like, First Class 5-pack that was from Toys R Us. And you could see that figure was just god-awful, really. We've come a long way with Iceman, but I still think we're still kind of on those travels. You know, we haven't gotten the right Iceman yet, I think. We're getting closer, though. I think Hasbro's just making a little bit more progress slowly over time, but hopefully we do get some definitive Iceman figures. Especially, I would love to see one where he is in the First Class, and he's kind of more like made out of snow, you know, kind of, you know, I don't know. That's going to be an interesting sculpt, and it definitely would have to be a unique one. Definitely can't be something like how they've been doing with just, you know, doing a paint job over an older figure. I don't think it's going to work like that. But definitely from this Iceman, it's definitely better than the first one we've seen with the 5-pack, but, you know, it's kind of debatable how it is with other Iceman figures. Now, Firestar was a figure that got released not so long ago. I think literally 2019, maybe even after that, 2020, 2021. I can't remember off the top of my head. But she's a figure that really didn't get too much crazy of an update. She really needed only the pinless body. And it's funny how fast she was able to get an updated body after being released so close from the previous one. You can see right here from the two, they pretty much do share, you know, similar, you know, designs and everything. However, it is totally different pieces because, you know, we get the double jointed elbows that are pinless, then the double jointed knees that are pinless, you know, but then you see these knees, it's more flimsy. This is hiding it. Single jointed, you know, it's got that weird rotation with that old one, you know, so the new one's definitely better. However, you totally have like the same head sculpts. There's nothing else really different with those. You know, it's just, and maybe like the flame effects might be a little different because it is on a newer figure, so those might be applied just slightly differently, but they were going for that same look essentially. So this figure, though, you know, I'm happy to see her get the update. I think it's a better figure, obviously. Let's do some comparisons with her dogs here. So this was the white Miss Lions, or the comic version, and this one was like a little bit more of a yellow version, more to the animated series appearance. It was more just like kind of like a blonde looking dog, and obviously the bow ties are a little bit different too. They went with different colors, so same sculpt. So, but at least some people would be happy about having a more show accurate version. I know I said there wasn't much of a difference with the head sculpts, but I lied because I just kind of looked, and then I noticed with the alternate head sculpt that there is some shading going on with it, the one with the hair going straight down. So I think that one they were trying to go for the more show accurate, because this one doesn't have it at all. So, and that's going after the New Warriors look, I believe. Okay, so that's all I have to say about these three figures. I think it was a fine set. I was a fan of the show when I was a little kid when I watched it. But from these three, I think Firestar is the best one overall here. You know, I would give her an 8 out of 10. She's you know, being pinless, I think that's awesome. Definitely a well-deserved version of the figure. Kind of thought it was a little bit quick to get back to her so soon, but since this whole 3-pack thing was kind of ready to move, I mean, I would have waited at least until they perfected an Iceman, but, you know, hey, that's just me. But, you know, obviously we do get that accurate color with Miss Lions, so the second one for me, I'm going to say, is Iceman, because I do appreciate the head sculpt that they made new for him. I do love the head sculpt, and it just looks like a nice ice sculpture to me. And then the paint with the shading, I think that was kind of nice. Spider-Man is my least favorite on here, simply because we've gotten oversaturated with Spider-Man. And there's, it's slightly different, it's a lighter tone, but than the other ones we've seen with like Renew Your Vows. It's like a darker blue there and such. But also kind of like those holes in the bicep area where they're having the holes for the webbing. Sorry, my verbiage is just all messed up here. So that's all I have to say about these 3 figures. I think they're fine additions to the Marvel Legends line, and it's great add-ons for those characters if you haven't had them yet. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And till next time, guys, I'll see you all later.